Number 41. Tyre recycling in Australia. 1. A typical tyre dealer in Australia can generate 600 to 800 tyre wastes per month. 2. There are many companies in Australia that recycle rubber for profit. 3. There is usually no size limit for recycled tyres that are produced and sold in Australia. 4. 5% of the research conducted on the tyre recycling industry has been completed. 5. One of the things that has to be produced for the wheel hub are steel wires. 6. Tyre recyclers also have to get rid of dirt segments on the tyres. 7. The rubber from tyres can be molded with plastic to form other products. 8. Rubber is used in playground structures, roadbed materials, running tracks and walkways, while rubber molded products are used as carpet padding or floor materials. 9. The material that is used to mold rubber is based on water, so it is environment friendly. 10. MSDS is a kind of ink that is applied to the thread of a tyre to give it a visible color.
42. British Library. 1. Leo and Grace must conduct a survey with the information sector to learn how modern technology has changed library management with the creation of classification for users. 2. Leo and Grace discussing about the dissertation have to send the electronic version of their data via email in 2 hours. 3. The biggest problem that Leo and Grace have to deal with is the collection of materials. 4. They have to solve the problems related to giving satisfactory feedback and returning books on time. 5. The email that they are scheduled to send in 2 hours should include the data as an attachment. 6. The library has created a digital system which consists of all of their materials. 7. Their other goal is to find a way to achieve long-term preservation of library materials. Eight. They need to focus more on human resources in the future and to recruit staff who possess marketing skills to conduct user analysis. 9. The way to handle library management is divided into 3 stages, which include focusing on human resources and recruiting staff with marketing skills. 10. Applicants for the librarian position are required to possess specialty skills or subject knowledge, such as in traditional literature.
Number 43. Solving the problems of CO2 emission. 1. Carbon dioxide sources can be buried underground, but it is an expensive option. Two, in Holland, it showed that their source of carbon dioxide is flowers. 3. In other countries, such as the UK, they cultivate potatoes as a source of carbon dioxide. 4. Meanwhile, in the US, the industrial production of plastics became a source of carbon dioxide emissions. 5. The study shows that limestone work leads to a harmful carbon dioxide emissions. 6. In China, the process they use in coal mining results in carbon dioxide emissions. 7. Although carbon dioxide emission is harmful, it is used as a medicine in China. 8. Another source for high carbon dioxide emissions is the airline industry. 9. One of the main ingredients of cement that gives it its strength is a source of carbon dioxide. 10. In the future, carbon dioxide in cities can be used to produce fuel.
Number 44. Airport Westlandian's role and plan for new location. 1. The plan is that the major local and domestic flights will be made exclusive for business. 2. The other plan is that international plans will be mainly for vacation. 3. The Westlandian Airport will also be doing flights for the export of electronic goods. 4. The revenue that will be generated at the airport will result in large tax contributions. 5. The Westlandian Airport will be conveniently located with the plan to link it to a highway. 6. The advantage of Site A is that the terrain is flat, so it's perfect for an airport. 7. However, the disadvantage is that Site A is home to many birds. 8. Another disadvantage is that Site A has a high risk for flooding. 9. The disadvantage of building the airport on Site B is the high possibility for increased traffic pressure. 10. The other disadvantage to building the airport on Site B is that it would increase pollution, leading to poor air quality.
Number 45. Development of engineering. 1. The difference between scientists and engineers is that the previous pay attention to social dimension. 2. The author referred to the use of vacuum cleaners as an example of an unrecognized accidental success in engineering. 3. In the 15th century, the development of manufacture and the 4 stages of engineering design were taking place at the same time. 4. At that time, the engineers understood that designing is a slow process of evolution that goes around in a circle. 5. The engineers learned that machine designs can reproduce a lot of parts. 6. Engineers started using models in the developmental stages of engineering design. 7. During the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, machinery appeared and a lot of men became involved in doing big projects. 8. The advent of the use of machinery in the 19th century greatly increased the processing speed for big projects. 9. Due to the use of machinery in the 19th century, engineers and workers were able to deal with complex designs. 10. Doing a big project in the 19th century did not require designers to meet and discuss.
Number 46. Lost written language. 1. To be able to learn and understand the lost written language, the researchers will need a lot of materials. 2. According to the researchers, the oldest record of the lost written language was found on a clay tablet. 3. Researchers are trying to decipher the lost written language according to the context in which the words are used. 4. The page where the lost written language was written had samples of other languages. 5. The page where the lost written language was written included drawings of monuments. 6. So far, the vocabulary that has been identified from the lost written language is mainly names. 7. The Italian and Greek languages are written in a different direction. 8. The lost written language has its own form for circles. 9. The lost written language is unique because of the type of printing used for it. 10. According to researchers, the lost written language was used as a game or puzzle.
Number 47. Alaska immigration. 1. Only about 5% of Alaska's land is permanently covered in ice. 2. During the Pleistocene glaciations, people followed animal species that migrated there. 3. A DNA analysis was conducted on the teeth remains that were found. 4. Only a few migrants can survive because of the extreme weather in Alaska. 5. People were unable to move to warmer places because of the limited number of sailboats. 6. The people who were able to move away brought 9 kinds of sea plants. 7. People who want to migrate should have a means to gather resources and weapons. 8. Because of the climate changes, transportation in Alaska is affected. 9. The problem is that people lack navigational skills, so they have difficulty moving around. 10. Another difficulty that they have to face when migrating by sea is the strong current of the Japan Sea.
Number 48. Dissertation about the newspaper printing process. 1. Kate chose this print company because the company's technology appeals to her. 2. The first step in the printing process is to place the negative film on the plate before the second step of air plunging is done. 3. The third step in the newspaper printing process is to take the generated image to be printed. 4. The fourth step in the newspaper printing process is to have the rubber blanket print the generated image. Five. The fifth and final step in the printing process is to have the newspapers cut and folded. Six. Newspaper printing factories spend a lot of time preventing paper jams. Seven. The machinery for the printing jobs will be installed in the air pump. 8. The total time it took to install all the machinery required was 11 months. 9. The huge machinery had to be brought in through a railway track. 10. The distribution of the newspapers is computerized and based on a barcode system.
Number 49. Difference between males and females in competition. 1. The survey was conducted based on the influence of competition in the workplace. 2. Based on the information gathered, only 2% of women occupy important positions in big companies. 3. The attitude towards males and females differ possibly because women are weaker in the aspects of science, math, and engineering. 4. Survey results suggest that even if a woman's skill was equal to a man's, they are still treated unequally. Five. According to the survey, women prefer taking less workload compared to men. 6. The survey results clearly showed that men were generally more confident than women. 7. The survey results also revealed that 34% of women avoid taking risks. 8. Another aspect revealed in the survey was that women didn't like receiving critical feedback. 9. The results of the survey showed that women didn't enjoy challenges as much as men do. 10. According to the survey results, the primary reason why women don't like taking challenges is because they fear for their future salary and opportunity.
Number 50. Water bank. 1. The first special dams that were ever built have been found in North and South Africa. 2. The dams that have been designed by the Romans are still in use today. 3. The dams are thought of as a symbol of progress by people of the 20th century. 4. The dams have always been considered as signs of progress. 5. The water banks work by gathering and pumping up grey water. 6. The process to clean the water took a month to complete. 7. Bacteria cannot survive due to a lack of oxygen in the containers. 8. Bacteria cannot survive because very little oxygen enters the containers. 9. The water in the dams contains a lot of salt. 10. People's lives in regions where water was undersupplied were threatened due to the development of the gold industry.
Number 51. History of time measurement. 1. There were two primitive methods used to measure time in the old days, the less reliable of which was the sun. 2. The other primitive method that was used to measure time placed importance on animal behavior. 3. In Hawking's A Brief History of Time, event horizon refers to region of space-time from which it's impossible to escape. 4. The importance became evident as the government started to offer a prize to any inventor who could produce a clock that's capable of keeping accurate time at sea. 5. According to records, the earliest ancient timekeepers were discovered in Mesopotamia and North America. 6. One of the disadvantages of using sunlight to determine time is its inaccuracy, as the length of day varies at different times of the year. 7. Because the water clock was more versatile, it was deemed as a better, more reliable source than the sundial. 8. The water clock was more reliable because the water flow still depended on the variation of pressure and temperature. 9. Preceding the water clock, the origin of the hourglass is unclear, but it is presumed that it may have been invented in ancient Egypt. 10. One disadvantage of the candle clock is that the candles will eventually disappear because of their limited amount of wax.
Number 52. Regulation on staff absence. 1. In certain circumstances, punitive damages are given in addition to actual damages. 2. The most common approach is to limit punitive damage penalties. 3. The company disciplinary measures include reducing the number of holidays allotted to an employee. 4. Other disciplinary measures include the withholding of sick pay and sometimes dismissal. 5. Such regulations make employees feel threatened and even deflate their motivation. 6. The effect of such regulations on the employees will diminish after a time. Seven. Providing employees with incentives increase their loyalty for the company. 8. One of the incentives is to interview employees to help them get into a more suitable position in the company. 9. Current employees agree with the incentive because the interview approach is flexible. 10. Other incentives provided to employees include medical benefits and other health resources.
Number 53. History of plastic and its applications. 1. The use of cotton and acid is necessary in order to apply plastic onto the material. 2. Plastic is commonly used to make products such as detergent bottles, milk jugs, and other kinds of containers. 3. Plastic is used to produce artificial silk flowers and leaves. 4. Unlike real plastic, cellulose can be heated into a hard, malleable, ivory-like material. 5. The first plastic material was created and developed in a laboratory. 6. Chemist Alexander Parkes was the first inventor of the first plastic. 7. In the beginning of its development, scientists used plastic to recycle pens. 8. Plastic treatments are disadvantageous because they produce gases, release toxic fumes when burned, and create large quantities of chemical pollutants. 9. Researchers were able to create types of plastic that could break down and decompose upon exposure to light, particularly sunlight. 10. Natural rubber wood no longer dominates the rubber market because Japanese manufacturers now use primary synthetic rubber in making tires for their cars.
Number 54. Amphibian. 1. The information on the conservation scheme was referenced from a previous research. 2. The diagram shows that some amphibians in the womb start to eat each other. 3. Another change that can be seen at the base is the decrease of food in the pond. 4. It is interesting to note that in the case of salamanders, babies come from the males instead of the females. 5. Interestingly, salamanders are known to reduce pollution in the habitats. 6. Salamanders have to stay close to ponds, especially in hot weather, or they will lose water. 7. Salamanders are slowly losing their habitats due to urban and agricultural developments. 8. Aside from urban and agricultural developments, amphibians' habitat is also influenced by farmland dwellers. 9. Amphibians and their habitats can be protected through encouraging each short-term solution. 10. Another way to protect amphibians is by treating their diseases effectively.
Number 55. Study on red sea urchin. 1. Red sea urchins feed on the plants that grow in kelp forests. 2. Red sea urchins are covered in spine, which acts as their protection. 3. The red sea urchin is a beloved food in many countries in Asia. 4. The sea urchin only grows at a rate of 0.1 centimeter per year, so it takes 22 years for it to reach maturity. 5. The sea urchin is regarded as a pest because it feeds on kelp. 6. Believing that sea urchins were partially responsible for the deterioration of marine ecosystems, people tried to poison them, which led to the declination of their population. 7. Red sea urchins are believed to have a maximum lifespan of about 200 years. 8. When red sea urchins die, they don't leave any signs of aging, but just few signs of age-related diseases. 9. Red sea urchins are the most prolific producers of sperm and egg, which means they can breed even when they're incredibly old. 10. It has been confirmed that the growth of red sea urchins is completely independent of ocean conditions.
Number 56. Protection of the bird named fairy tern that is facing extinction. 1. Fairy tern birds usually build their nests along coastlines or next to a river. Two. Research conducted in 1984 reveals that only 3 pairs of fairy tern birds still survive today. Three. However, the numbers may be wrong because it is difficult to estimate how many are still alive. Four. Farming and home constructions are the main cause to the loss of the bird's habitat. Five. Local predators are also blamed as they eat fairy tern birds' eggs. Six. Another reason seen for the decline in their population is the occurrence of storms. Seven. To protect the birds, conservationists should encourage people to post guards in areas where the birds are known to breed. Eight. Another advice is to build a fence around the areas where the birds are known to live and breed. Nine. In many of the breeding farms, the cultivation and rearing of the birds go hand in hand. 10. Advocates are now using the media to promote the protection of the birds.
Number 57. Building a city in the desert. 1. When the desert is cool, the wind also blows cool air into nearby areas. 2. The electrical smart meter will display the electricity consumption rate, time period, and other details. 3. The digital meter will show the water temperature as well as the time spent in the shower. 4. People in the village go around in electric cars that do not require a driver. 5. The glass mirrors installed at home and on car roofs collect energy from the sun successfully. 6. Residents also make use of large umbrellas that are shaped like a flower. 7. Ash and concrete mixed with acid are used to make the building's exterior landscape. 8. The desert city also has a park in the center of the town. 9. The park located in the heart of the city features a fountain where people can splash and have fun. 10. The electric cars used by people in the city have the lowest carbon emission rate.
Number 58. Invasive species. 1. It is a fact that there are some species that can take over a garden. 2. While there are many kinds of invasive species, humans are also considered as one. 3. They described the impacts of invasive species in Europe and the difficulties involved in reducing these impacts. Four, the concrete system is amazing because it realistically looks like timber due to the imprinted texture combined with colors. Five, they recognize that there are many invasive species such as insects and pathogens that are potentially harmful for the ecosystem and people. Six, the tumbleweed plants in West America are actually an invasive species from Russia. Seven, the yellow iris is a yellow flower, and it is also a regulated invasive species in Minnesota. Eight, the group was created in response to the growing awareness of the threat imposed by non-native invasive species. Nine, cherry blossoms provide the flower-eating birds with constant supply of food from late winter to early spring when food is often scarce. 10. Birds with pancreatic disease or certain digestive problems can heal from small amounts of grit in their food.
Number 59. Water supply system in Australia. 1. One of the two water resources in Australia's water supply system is an underground man-made dam. 2. Another water source used in Australia is desalinated seawater. 3. There are various ways of how water can be used, and one of its main applications is the agricultural industry. 4. The second main use of water is for the domestic sector. 5. There are many other sectors that require the use of water, one of which is the paper-making industry. 6. Aside from the agricultural, domestic, and industrial sectors, the food processing industry also requires the use of water. 7. One of the main uses of water is for waste disposal. 8. To process and purify water, it has to pass through a filter. 9. An important aspect in the process of purifying water is adding chemicals to kill bacteria. 10. Water is tested every day after the process of purification.
Number 60. Biomimicry. 1. Spiders are skilled hunters and they heavily relied on hunting insects for food. 2. Spider silk, which is stronger than steel, is considered the holy grail in biomimicry. 3. Spider silk is known to be 5 times stronger by weight than steel, although it's finer than human hair. 4. Spider silk has been used as an environmentally friendly fishing line by Polynesian fishermen. Five. Surgeons use spider silk to treat nerve damages and sports injuries. 6. Using spider silk for medical stitches is convenient because it self-dissolves and reduces pain. 7. Spiders are affected by vibrations and sounds, such as the noise from a train. 8. Spider silk was used to make skating boards in the Olympics. 9. Spiders that spin webs are easily affected by vibrations, and they like to make their webs at the end of a tunnel. 10. Collecting the spiders and assisting them in spinning their webs helps to reduce their loss of energy.